Hi, welcome to Old Guys Gentlemen Flex Fountain Pens. This will be episode number 73, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Pilot Custom A23. What's different about this one is it's got an FA nib on it. You almost never see these come with an FA nib. I'm not sure if the vendors swap these from other pens or how they get that, but I think if you Googled this right now, you would see call first, low stock. But that FA, I don't know what the FA actually stands for, except that it's a nib that's very soft, sort of flexible, and it's a really nice fine line to start with. So I got it from a company called Pensachi. They don't show that they sell it right now. The color of this, Pensachi called it an amber demonstrator. I've seen it shown on other sites without the FA nib as a amber brown. It's got some interesting features to it, but let me cover the dimensions first. Posted, it feels really good. It's about 6.5 inches. And it's a relatively light pen because it's almost all resin, but it feels good in my hand. The barrel diameter is 1/2 inch, which is what I like. The section diameter isn't the scrunchy 3/8 of an inch or less. It's around 0.4 inches. So that's another good feature of it. Oh, the ink capacity. I'll show you here in a second, but it's a piston, but it's a piston vacuum sort of thing. So what you'll do is I'm going to stick it in that ink, and there's a plunger here with some valving associated with it, and you pull it up and nothing's really is going to happen in there. Pushing down is hard, and when you get to the bottom, it kind of releases the connection to this tube, and that vacuum fills it up, just like bam. I can never click my fingers, but bam. and then if you turn it upside down and push in a little bit again, and then stick it back in the ink and push it down, it'll nearly fill up all the way. Fill it up all the way. It's 2.55 milliliters. You could write for weeks with that much stuff in there. One of the downsides of this, this looks kind of pretty, but once you get ink in there, it still looks nice. But then when you clean it out, there's only one way to get the ink out. In fact, I still haven't gotten it all out. I've cleaned up with water, so this is just diluted little droplets of water. But you can unscrew this section and send water down there, but it gets caught up behind this. There's this 2 flats here that you can use a wrench with, and there's probably a specific tool for it, but that seems to work fine. You can pull that out, but even after I dried everything out with paper towels and stuff, probably moisture from here. With this vacuum, everything, it continues to pull a little bit in there. So once you ink this thing up and use it, it's never going to be empty. Never going to be completely empty again. But that's okay. I'm just being picky. You're probably not even seeing it on the camera. But let's go ahead and fill this up. I'm going to use Pelican 4001 Violet. It's getting down to like the last third of the bottle, so I'm going to use my little tilt-wheel stand here. And see, it's all empty. So I pull this thing up, and let me change the angle here so you can see this better. So now I'm going to push this down it's kind of hard to push. When it gets down the bottom, look at that. It filled up 3/4 of the way. So now if I do this little trick, that's probably not even worth doing this because there's a likelihood you can get ink on yourself. So the trick here is you pull it down again, okay, and then you push this back up. There's a chance of a little bit of ink coming back up, and then go back in. Now, it filled up even further, but not completely all the way. But that's a ton of ink. Yeah, one of the problems of overfilling, I didn't wipe the nib, so it gets a little wet. Okay, let's move over a clean section of the paper, and we'll just do some little lines here. Horizontally, it looks like a XXX extra fine. Vertically, it's slightly thicker. So let's see here, light one, a little more, a bit more, a bit more, a bit more. And I don't want to push it that far. For me, what I notice is on these flex nibs, when you push it and you can feel the increase in line versus how much force you're putting on it. And when you get to a certain point where there's like a law of diminishing returns, you get a little bit less line width variation. The more pressure you put on it, it's time to back off. That's just kind of a feel that I've gotten. So I haven't sprung a nib. Probably about 1.5 years. The good old Richard Binder stroke width chart on his site. So how thin are we? Well, I take that back. It is about a triple extra fine with a nice light hand. And how wide are we getting? I'm not sure if we're getting all the way down here. Nope. But here. I think we're getting, I'll call it double broad plus. So this is triple extra fine to broad plus. All right, there's my mess. Let's do some crazy eights. So that's some decent line variation. And a response. Really good response. It's, almost like a vintage flex kind of response. I always forget to check the wetness. Now this is a pretty dry ink. Any of the 4001s are ink. So it's putting a fair amount of ink down there to get that kind of a swipe. But this is a very unscientific way of checking for wetness, but that's what we do. All right, so how about lazy dogs and foxes? So there you go. I would call this a medium flex kind of pen. It took a little bit more pressure than like a full flex pen. The amount of line variation is good enough for almost all the writing that I would do. I do tend to like just a little bit more, but this is fine. And it's all in a modern nib on a pen that looks really kind of nice, with a ton of ink capacity. Nice size, nice feel. I did have to pay a premium for getting that FA nib on there, but this is a nice pen. I'm glad I've got it. So I hope you enjoyed that review. Until next time, thank you.